And when I talked to Tibor about the presentation, the topics, what we would like to talk about it, and actually the base should be like Aussie Sharks philosophy, but also I want to talk actually more about the development of the players. And actually, I can just say in this presentation how I would like to see Australian players and our team, and also what's probably necessary on that way, how we want to develop the player, and I believe it will be also some question, and I believe, because I can see who is here on this Zoom meeting, that pretty much everyone is familiar with our advantage or disadvantages. So before I come to Australia, probably my idea and philosophy around the national team was based on my frustration to play against Australia. So because me as a player, I hated to play against the team who is such a swimmingly fit, strong, because for even now, for the majority of Europeans, we know that completely it's different approach of the any sport, and on the same way it is our water polo from the Europeans and Australians. And absolutely, I want to keep that quality what Australia always had, and of course on top of that to add some other things. So Tibor, we can go on the next one. How I see the water polo, we put here water polo 21st century, but and how I see us is like some kind of the modern, fast and effective water polo. I believe that especially even with these new rules, that's even more important. So what's and I think it's everything is involved in that you need to be strong. So you need to have that strength. Absolutely, speed is so important to be part of that, and with the superior technique and utility. My opinion is why I put that utility players is that the time of the water polo when you have specified positions is gone. That of course. That you have center forward and a left-hander, you will not move him on the opposite side, and those things, that's something that absolutely determines it. But the players who are capable to cover more position, absolutely, they will much easier they find their spot, because now, you know, every team has at least 2-3 options as a second center forward, quick counter-attack. So because everyone has like that option to play with the multiply players as a center forward, then of course that you need more center backs. So absolutely you need to be capable to play on the both sides of the pool and to be quality. So all these parts, as you can see, are important to be able to play that water polo that me personally would like to see. And I will not elaborate now how I want to see us, but because you will see, I hope that you will be able to see that on that clips. But just in a couple of words, it's just that I would like to be like a really dynamic water polo with a lot of counter attacks, fast setup, also to be able to play in defense, aggressive. So all those things. But for that, we really need to have quality player who can do that. Next one, please. What's the characteristic of the modern player? So I know even Obi was involved in that conversation when I asked my colleagues, like, how you would like this described. For me, that's aggressive player, aggressiveness. And they said, be careful with the word aggressive, because someone will take that wrong. And I know that, you know, when you talk with someone, say aggressive, that automatically means for him brutal. But actually, it's everything but not that. What you want with that's that you are a dynamic player, as I mentioned, that who is able to go on the both direction, like who is able to play press, but not mean press and aggressive to commit the foul. No, absolutely opposite. That you want to steal the ball, you know, in order to have counterattack, because that's the easiest converting. When you have like some counterattack that absolutely giving you a wings and killing the opposition. So, and for all of that, you need physical players who are capable and endurance to play that longer as possible. cognitive skills for understanding the game are super important, and we know that not every players have the same cognitive skill. So absolutely, we need to teach them from the earliest stage about the basic things, and of course that, like in every other things in life, that someone have more cognitive skill for the sport, someone for something else. But no matter of the rules, the players who like who have that sports cognitive skill, they will easier be successful. So they will be always the best. So for them, it doesn't matter whatever we change. So I know that very often when the people comments about these rules are changed because of that team or that, but doesn't matter, because the best player, they will easier adjust on all those things. Probably part of that cognitive skills will be also technical and tactical part, because all of them will easier and they will be coachable, and they will accept any kind of tactic that coach wants from them. Technically, again, we talk about great legs, which will allow you to be quality and again, becoming that mobility as a center forward, center back, that you can play on the left and the right side. And that's the reason why Aaron is here, because he is the one who ticking all that boxes. For example, for me, that's the one kind of the quality player, because when you see him outside of the pool, I don't believe that many people will say, yeah, he is able to play center back, center forward. Most likely he's good swimmer, long arms, he can shoot, so he can play left and right, but he's absolutely the player who can tick all that boxes. And the last things here for me, and I believe that we as a coaches everywhere, that properly not value that as we should value, that mentally or psychological moments. And I believe that's especially important on the earlier stage to recognize some things and potentially when we can have impact on that. And because later it's very difficult to change some things when someone is not resilient. And even in this situation now, we need to be resilient and mentally strong, because we need, to, as a team, not only us, it's all around the world. We need, to just to push back for another year, because for some of them will be the challenge for sure. So we need to find that inner motivation, and you need to be resilient for that. You need to be resilient during the hard training. You need to be resilient during the competition when maybe not everything will go as you expected. And only on that way, you'll be able to survive. You'll be able to deliver the best thing in the most crucial moment, because it's not just to show up at the pool when it's a tough game and then you will show your best. Because if you don't go through that during the training on the earliest stage and later on, absolutely, there's no way that you can be successful in the sport. Next one, please. So from this, how I think that, and I would like us to look like as a team, and how potentially to develop that, I just try to put here on couple next clips. So I named this like controlled developing time. This is like approximately time between 10 and 14 years, when we absolutely develop all that skills, and when we have so much impact on that. So we talk about the functional skills, about the motoric skills, sport specific, and we talk about the tactics. But one of the things that I'm really loud on that is that, my opinion, in that earlier stage, absolutely we need to offer the best coaches to the kids, because that's the period when they work a lot, when they earning good or bad habits, and when we need to help them a lot. So this is the period absolutely when we can have that impact on so many things. Tactics in this age are absolutely irrelevant so much, because we just need to teach them the basic things about how to about the space, how to use that, and because for the tactics they will have more times later when we're coming on that essential period. That's mostly between 14 and 18, when we absolutely doing a little bit more complex things. and in the end, after like when you're 18 and plus, we're coming on the program when we can already talk a little bit about the periodization. So why I'm saying that, because even one of the idea was, should we talk something about the periodization for the kids? For my point of view, and I believe that many of you will agree, there's no periodization in this period when we talk between 10 and 18, because this is like just one big picture, and we want to prepare kids for the big things when they come on that 18 and plus, especially in the senior levels. We have some competition, and of course that you want to do something, but more or less it's one or two major competition, and you know, this is like just a peak for that kids in that year. But definitely on the long term, we need just to work on them, how to develop all these things, skills, what we mentioned here. So I would like just to go in the couple words. We can go on the next one. So when we talk about the functional skill, and now we talk more about for the high level product, what we need, everything. That's the technique that swimming skill. So we talk about the swimming technique, that the players have that endurance and they have a speed. So absolutely on the technique and endurance, we can work a lot almost from the beginning, not absolutely all the time, because technique is the crucial things, because we have so many examples that the players with the better technique, how much effort they put in all of that, and how much more they are fresh than someone else, and absolutely then capable to deliver some great things. Endurance is something also that what we need to do during the whole career, because we know that now every sport become like more faster and durable. And also in our sport, we know that till couple months ago was ruled that we will play just with 11 players on the Olympic Games, which means that absolutely players need to have all that things, and especially that endurance, because there's no many subs on the bench. And speed, of course, like speed and agility, that's something that is necessary in the modern sport, and also the things that you works a lot, but that everything, that speed coming after all of this, because first two things and even the beginning are more important, because we know that speed is sometimes genetically determined, and actually we can have impact, but not much as on the other two things. But then I think that we need to follow in this order how that's going. When we're talking about the leg skill, is the same things. Is the same things like how efficient is the kick of the players, technique what we have with them. Of course, on the boat is that vertical, is horizontal, and endurance, and absolutely the strength. So all these things are super important. And again, I will go back to Aaron, and he is the one who's ticking all these boxes. And that's because of that he's capable to play on that highest level. But this is like a really long process. This is not something that we can reach when we start to do something serious when they're 18. That's why it's important that earlier stage to have super quality coaches who can give them and share with them a love of the game, but also to be the proper teacher for our sport. We go on the next one. When we talk about the motoric skill, that's also like again one important things, and which going with all this modern sport. And I will first go on the flexibility, because that's probably something that all of you have a problem now in this modern time especially with the kids, because we know that before probably majority played sports on the playground and I don't know, in the water, but now we know that new generation, they play sport only on the computer, and because of that, there are for sure that flexibility, it's not the same, and flexibility is such important in any sport, and also on that way in our sport as well. So for us, it's important that global flexibility, but definitely if you want to talk about the topological, that shoulder and hip joint, they are more involved than any others. So we need to work a lot on that. About the strength, again, we need everything. Same as we talk about the swimming and the legs, that we talk about the strength. So we need to absolutely, we need the endurance and explosive, each of them in order to be high level players. Next one, please. So I try to put here, like, especially in that first phase, sensitive development phase, in when is important, because absolutely all these things we need just to work a lot on them. So in every single time. But my opinion that for various reasons, and I think that's worldwide the problem, that we're skipping some things. So as you can see here, coordination, we put here because we talk about this first phase from 8 to 11. It's and even further. So coordination is very important because through that the kids can learn some game sense, which is very important for them. So that coordination exercise and everything what you're doing can be related by water polo, can be related by any other sport, because all those things will give the players more capacity to think during the game, to make the good decision. I don't know if I want to say about the coordination, some exercise what we done. It's when the players are, I don't know, they play in the small field and then they can score just with the not dominant hand, or they can score with the both hands, or they play some kind of the rugby on the later stage, not on this level from 8 to 11. But it's so many different variety, and that absolutely depending of the imagination of the coach. Flexibility, we know how is important. We talked about that before, and we know also that flexibility, if you don't have that flexibility, especially till some period when you are 15, 16, absolutely there is no way that you can improve the things. And we know because of non-flexibility how many problems some of the players have in our sport and in all other sports. So we need to do a lot that, especially when they are younger, they need probably to do more dynamic exercise, and later of course that you have that even that passive stretching and those things. But that's such important part of water polo. But you know, when we talk about that, probably we can say that here we have a problem that because of the limited pool time in the pool space, and because so many obligations for the kids, for example, if they're running from the school or from some other sport, so they don't have time for the exercise, for the warm up and those things. But that, in the end of the day, that everything has impact on later when they're older. Aerobic capacity, absolutely important part in every segment, every part of the career. But to build that aerobic capacity on the early stage, it's super important. And what we and this specific skill, when we talk about the legs technique, about the passing drill, so blocks, whatever you want to talk about it, it's something with just with the ages, we're doing more complex things. In the beginning, absolutely the crucial things for me is to be focused on the technique, whatever exercise they're doing, because only on that way, if they have the quality technique, they can later they can do exercise properly. So we had some experience with the players that no matter if you want to talk about the strength, is that some exercise or any other, that the players or even the legs, that the players had the problems because they never done something before. And when they were older, they're much harder. They're accepting some specific exercise than when they are younger, and we're doing that with them. So I try to go a little bit here through specific age, and absolutely, everything is possible here to adjust a little bit. But as we talked in the beginning, that different technique in the swimming, we know that we talked there about the freestyle, breaststroke, butterfly, all those things which are very, very important later for us. And when we talk about the legs, that's absolutely all that horizontal and vertical technique. So with all of them, we will do also like some specific exercise, which is like, but you know, we really need to be careful here, because it's much important here to be present at the pool and to teach them and correct them in order to have a better result, as I mentioned before. So it can be a lot of shooting, blocking, but absolutely we don't need to be here the slaves of some unbelievable tactics, because it's too early for the kids. And as you can see here, where I put in the end, like games, that's more for me space understanding, because also I can say, even through experience with the senior national team, happening that sometimes the players don't have that feeling for the space. When it's an empty space in front of you, they will rather, I don't know, because of the habit, they will rather stop much earlier than they should be, and they stop or all counter attack, or they're stopping our normal set attack. So many things. So because of that, I think that we need just to teach the kids in that stage, like about the space understanding, in order to deliver something better later. Next one, please. So later, when we're coming to the period like 12 to 14 years, then we're going a little bit on the more complex things with the ball. So that was also when I talked to Tibor, that we talk about maybe to put even more exercise, but it's so many of them, and I'll be glad that to share with all of you. And by the way, Obi has probably majority, if not all of them, what we done, what we filmed our kids and senior players, so he can share with all of you everything what you want. So when we talk about the other things specific, that starts when we already start to teach them about the different body positions, and because that's very important. They have that different starts. Is they starting with the legs in front of them? If they start with the legs behind them? So many other things. So jumps also, we're talking about again different starts, different jumps from the different body positions, blocks as well. Passing and shooting become more active, because when they're small, when they're 10 to 12, they're probably not capable to do so easy like some swimming movement and then easy receiving. So now it's much when they mature a little bit, that's absolutely much easier for them to do some that more complex things. In this period of time, when they're actually already start to growing and to be a little bit bigger, that we can also include with them. Go back, please. That contact exercises. So that's something new what we're doing with them, and that's become like more like some exercise when we're talking about the two defender, how to play a little bit press, how, because you will see later, that's probably that aggressive part. That's something what we later want to develop on to the max. So that's absolutely something what we want to do with them, and that's this is a good time to start. Also, we can talk about the center forward, center back exercises. So that's the good period to do that. And absolutely now, as you can see here, probably you will recognize Chris Vibro on the photo. So we already can slowly start to explain that, because again, outside we don't need to force something before the kid accept the basic things, and then we can go with them on the more complex things. Later from we can go on the next one, Tibor. Later, as you will see, then we're going on the more complex exercise that absolutely is important to start to develop a little bit more specific skill, which means for the various position, and we will already in that period we will already know that the players are capable to play some certain position. As I mentioned before, is that center forward, is the center back, whoever is lefty, those things. But absolutely, you will see on the bottom of this is that we just need to keep that ability to play on the every possible position. That's absolutely the key, as I mentioned, for the future, because we can't afford it to have a players who are capable to play just in one position, because on that way you just have one player probably less in the field. The change from the previous years, from 10 to 14, that already the kids are able to do a little more high intensity zones. So in this first phase from 10 till 14, when we have that control period, they are more focused. We should be more focused on the technique and on the endurance. But now we talk about the absolutely some high intensity zone, especially when we talk about the period from 16 till 18. We need to work with the kids that with the analysis, absolutely correction. All those things are super important for them. I didn't put here because you saw that before, and I know that we had a lot of talk about that. What about strength? And with the strength and those things, we can work during and it's almost the same situation like when we talk about the swimming, when we talk about the legs. We just need to teach them technique. So because like they learning how to breathe when they swim, when they do some specific exercise, that's the same things what we're doing about how to do some technique when we're talking about the strength. And of course, I don't talk now when there are kids to go to the gym, but we can talk about that. They can do some exercise with their body. They can do some exercise with the bands, absolutely. And you can do that just to teach them the technique and those things, because later in their career that will be very important. For many and various reasons, people are afraid to do some of those things. And Obi especially will be very familiar that we had some kids when they come, because it was some rules that they were not able to go to gym when they were 19 and they come to the gym first time. We had so many issues with the injury. So that's why we need from the earliest stage to work on those techniques, and of course, absolutely with the ages to progress with some exercises. Next one, please. So for the development of the players, I will start from the end. So for me, the most important is the quality of the coaches, because that's the person, the quality coach is the person who will be able to provide quality program. And absolutely on that way, we know that competition quality is so important, and you will see later where we have some comments of the coaches who went overseas with the players. Well, I think on that. But if we offer the kids the quality competition and sufficient number of the games, that's the only way how they can improve. For us here, probably is the very important to say that most likely water polo is for the majority of the kids and we talk now about the most talented kids, like the priority sport. Probably not minority will say water polo is the first choice. So on that way, absolutely that we need even then to spend even more time, with how to educate the kids how to be the quality players, because you don't have the most talented gifted kids, let's say, however you want to say that, but because probably for them in Australia the first choice will be rugby or footy, or is that cricket, basketball, hard to say, but we know that we're dealing with that and we need to be absolutely prepared for that. The next one. So this is after my conversation with the coaches who were overseas with our national teams. So the main issue, because I didn't want to put, I was present on the majority, if not all of them, youth competition and the junior. I talking about under 18 and under 20, and also on some training camps overseas, not on the all competition, but some of them when our under 15 generation comes. And I asked them, okay, so how do you see that? That was like 3-4 coaches involved in this. And I just put here what was the common for all of them. What was the main issue? What was the advantage? What's not? So for all of them, the main issue was how to play against the press and how to maintain the possession. Strength compared to other teams. Don't want to comment probably the strength of the players under 15, because it's too early and it's hard to say, because some mature earlier, some are later. It's not as a coach, you're not in great position if you comment something like that, and I believe it's completely wrong. But I can comment something, but because I was on under 18 and under 20, it's a huge disadvantage on our side. When we come to play, especially against some dominant team from Europe, now in the last couple of years, especially I can talk about Spain and Hungary, the Hungary, Greece, especially the kids like they are different sides. What was our big advantage in the past, probably through our coaches, and I believe you will agree as well, swimming is not longer our advantage compared to them, and technically all of them thinking we are below top 10. Basic understanding is also a problem. So all these things, so this is the first 5 things, my opinion, that's something that we as an organization, as a sport, as a waterpolo community, we can improve that. We have impact on that. That's something that probably comes to us, that we can talk and find a way. And absolutely, we can't have like an excuse for that. Yes, they train more. I agree with that. That's probably the basic thing. But absolutely, this is something what we can improve in order to be successful in the future. Something that we don't have impact, and that's unfortunately probably also one of the big issue, but that's the fact. It's we can't say how many international experience they will have and budget that's coming together, because everything depending of the wallets of their parents. So that's probably something that absolutely we don't have. The good things, what all of them mentioned, it was that after a week or 2, when we talk about the under 15, or maybe 2 weeks or 3, when we talk about under 18, 20, that all of them, they show like a huge improvement after a couple of weeks with the strong European team or even USA team who has a really strong young generation. I personally, I can say probably it's pretty much same as with us, with the senior team, that after a couple of weeks, like strong training, even sometimes painful moments of the training on the tournament, we definitely we showed like a huge improvement. So and we are lucky that probably we can afford to spend a little more time than the kids. Okay, next one. So when we come to that youth program, like generally, I tried to put here and just a couple numbers, and why I put this insufficient training in all categories, or why I put that question mark there is, and you will agree probably with all of that because you are all familiar. I put here that we in Australia, we have like approximately, and this was based on the clubs, 2 to 3 training per week, which means 12 to 15 in the best case scenario per month. And we don't know how many months per year. And when you can compare with this, what's happening in Europe and multiply with the 12 months, it's a huge difference. But why I put that question mark here is that we have so many instances. So is that school? Is that club? Is that state? Is that institute? That's why I put on the bottom that here we absolutely need to find a better way to collaborate, because we can't go with the same things. And I know it's quite difficult, but I think that definitely we can do it that much better. And to find, because in the end of the day, it's not 2-3 trainings. Sometimes will come that maybe our kids are overloaded with the numbers because they have so many things with the school. They have maybe, I don't know, is that with the state, with the club, so many. So absolutely, we are here, you know, that we need to find and collaborate as a coaches to find the best possible interest for the kids, to develop them, to offer them the best possible, I don't know, that development pathway in order potentially to one day to be a quality player. Okay, so I don't know if you would like to go now a little bit through the video, and then we can, if you have some question and answers, we can discuss about those things, or you want to rather talk now, because this is now what we're going with the clips. It's something how I found some. I personally believe that was like a good clips that should represent us as a team, and how I would like to see us. That's not proper that we play that all the time, but I really try to find like some good things in our defense, in our attack. So I don't know if you're interested to look that first and then to talk, or would you like to talk now about all these topics?
I would suggest that we do look at the videos and see how it comes through and how clearly we can see everything and what you wanted to really talk to us about. And then you lead the way, and then people just notifying everyone that you're on mute, so you need to unmute yourself, and then you can ask questions. But let's just start with the video then.
Okay, so we'll start first with the counter-attack defense. Yeah, so you will see that why I said that you were an intelligent player, so everyone is involved. You can see here that the goalkeeper was involved in that team. Now the next one, and also again was a counter-attack 1-0, but because all the players are covered, they're not able to receive the ball and to do something. So that's everything. What I just go. That's everything like part of aggressiveness. So you will see now we're going like this was the first two I showed. That was like when was actually 1-0 counter-attack. This one is a 3-on-2, so that's pretty much like 100% chance. But when you have a players who are capable to be mobile and to be aggressive on the way, then that's possible also to save. Of course, sometimes experienced team they will punish you. They have good setup, but you can see here it's also like 4-on-3, also probably some of the easiest converting of counter-attack. But you know, you if you are aggressive, but of course smart aggressive, then you can play and save that situation as well. This is like 6-on-5, huge one with the center forward. But if you are mobile, so what I want to say when we talk about aggressiveness, it's not only just to be aggressive on the ball players. So that's mean also to cover the space, to be able to jump outside quicker. So it's many that small aggressive movement, which again, we need to have good legs, we need to have good swimming ability and good game understanding. Same things again, 6-on-5. Yeah, we can go now on the next one. You don't have a sound on that, yeah? No, on the next one, that's set defense is next one, yeah. Can you go on the next slide?
Yeah. Let me have a look. Sorry. Next one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So I want to show in this couple clips in set defense, like where is involved press, when everyone is part of that, goalkeeper. Okay, so you can stop here.
Stop.
Yeah. So you can see here, like for example, is the press when even goalkeeper is involved in that defense. So you know we wanna that's some kind of aggressiveness. So that's something what we aiming for if it's possible. Yeah, go on. Here again, when it's the first phase, always press, and you're trying to play press more as you can, depend of course of the quality of the center forward of position. And also part of that aggressiveness is also like zone as well. That's part also that the players need to be capable to read the movement of the opposition, and also if it's necessary, it depends of their positioning to go or between. But that's absolutely something that everyone need to be on the same page. This is probably something what every coach like when the opposition pass the ball on the corner. And here you will see it's also face of press and then quick swim back, so to support there in defense. So it's so many things that you want to involve, and that's for me also everything that is part of aggressiveness. That's not only one explanation for that aggressive part of the game that you want. So you can see here when you have opposition that's swimming back and that you have a double block, that's something that you want. Yeah, I believe that we can go on the next one in our counter attack. No, this is the same one. So just
same one. Next one.
Yeah, that's it. So that's, and I tried to chronologically to go through that how I would like us to see how we play. That mean from the strong defense to be able to convert like a quality counter attack or quick set attack. So definitely, my opinion, this is, for example, quick set attack. This is not like just like a simple counter attack. This was like 6-on-6, but because I don't know, Aaron recognized that someone is not capable to play center back, he went in and he scored. So that's something what we be looking for, the opportunity, not wait, set attack to take like the first 10-15 seconds for the rest, for the recovery. We just want to if it's possible to convert something immediately, let's go immediately. So this is again 6-on-5, very important. Also, like 6-on-5 is probably the hardest one to score because every majority of the team playing well defense. But if you have a good setup in attack, if everyone on the good positions, and they fill the gaps and the space in the first line, then you can always create some opportunity. Again, another 6-on-5, and most likely this is in the modern water polo most often counter attack when you have because the majority of the counter attacks now happening through when center forward late a little bit. So that's why we want, actually, if you talk about your team, you want a center forward who is capable to swim good and in order to protect that counter attack. But if not, then you want absolutely quick set attack. So you want the players to not stay too far, to come closer, and then if it's chance to use that opportunity and the score. Also, the same things is, you can go on the next one. That's the same. The next one. The same things is in our set attack. So I believe that same as we talked that there's no time for wasting in counter attack. That you want a players that who is driving in the first line. If the opposition made mistake, that they penetrate inside and they score. The same things is in attack. Absolutely. You don't have a time to be passive. So absolutely we want, but of course all that movement, what we're doing, cannot be just in sake of let's drive in, let's do something. That must make sense. So absolutely, that's why you need the players who understand the game. They can read what's the intention of the defense, so they can do some drive. It's necessary on some position in order to create opportunity in attack. And then also, absolutely, it's important to have that different variety, that you have a players who are, and you can see, we drive on the other, on the left side, on the right side, and to earn exclusion, depends where the center forward is. So all those things, to be able to deliver, you need the players who understand and who are physically capable to do that. Also situations when you have two center forwards, so if they holding the good position. As you can see, first line is at the 2 meters. So any quality shooter when he is on the 5 and 6, because such a great basic position, 2 meters, that no one is behind, no one staying too far, like on the 4 meters, which we can see very often in our national league, that the first line sitting on the 4 or 5 meters. Then that means that the second line is 7, 8, 9, and no one can score from that position. So that's why it's important. You can see here, even we didn't score, but great reading of the space, empty space, drive in. We missed that, but absolutely, it's great reading of the game. Again, quick setup, center forward is alone, pass, because we can't create much better opportunity if we try to be passive, if we give the time to defense to think and to set that defense. And the last one is extra man. Yeah, the next one. Yeah, the extra man. Also, what I tried is to just put in like a couple quick realizations. So after the explosion, immediately to pass the ball and those things, because my opinion, that's much better than to wait. But of course, sometimes happening that you need. But what I want to show, for example, even in this example, how many movement of the players, how many legs movement they have lateral, and those things. So that's what we really trying to encourage our players to do. You will see here, even I don't care, to be honest, even if we miss some situations, but you know, what I want to say for the extra man, you will see we missed in one extra man situation, we missed 2 times from the post, but 3rd time we score from the opposite post. And actually, what I wanna in our extra man on generally in the game, we want all the players involved, because we can't say how the defense will play and who will be alone. And you will see here, even the defense was quite good, but with the good movement of the team, we create something. So that's why important that everyone is involved. Everyone is dangerous, because we don't want a player just to be part and to be on their spot. Everyone needs on the post players. They need to be ready. Players on the perimeter, they need to move. As you can see here in the beginning, when the defense still looking for the where everyone have to sit, you have to look for your chance. So this is probably, it's not ideal to watch, because during the Zoom it's always going a little bit different on that sequences, but this is how I would like to see us as a team. We're still looking for that, because it's not absolutely all the time like this, but I try to put some clips that that will be Aussie Sharks philosophy.